Okay.
So I've been in recovery from drugs and alcohol for 5 years, and 3 months ago, when I found out that I was HIV positive, I immediately fell back on the comfort of alcohol. I hate myself for doing that. I feel worse that I'm drinking again than I do about having HIV.
Wow, it sounds like you've been through a lot lately, and I really appreciate that you've come in this morning to talk with me. Um, can you tell me when you returned to alcohol, because it looked like you had a lot of time off, can you tell me what that's been looking like to you lately?
Well, I still work, but then I come home at night and I just drink until I fall asleep in the morning or in the evening at bedtime.
Hmm. And so you were in recovery for 5 years. When did you first start drinking?
When I was in high school, I would drink until I passed out, and then I got married, and my husband was he abused alcohol and drugs, and so I kind of just went along with him.
Mhm. And what led to you going into recovery? What was that going on at that time that you had decided, I have enough with the way things are going and I want to try something different?
Well, I got a divorce from my husband. He was using IV drugs, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I'm a nurse, and I decided it was time that I get my life together, and so I got sober.
And and so you were sober for 5 years, and how was that 5 years that you were sober? What did life look like to you?
Oh, it was so much better. I could get up for work and feel good and work my 12-hour shift, and really I get a lot of joy out of taking care of my patients, and it was really great, and I can't believe I went back to drug or to alcohol.
Relapse is part of the story sometimes for people in recovery, and these things happen. But you're here now, and you are hoping to put that back, behind you again, and that takes a lot of internal, strength and courage, and I commend you for that. Um, could you tell me a little bit about your day? What's going on after you've done this, long shift at work and helping people and attending to your nursing career? What's going on? What are you thinking about when you come home before you pick up that drink?
Um, I just like I don't know. I just when I got the diagnosis of HIV, I just felt uh, like it was just so unfair that my ex-husband could do this to me, um, give me this disease that um, it's just it's it, it just I'm so mad at him. I'm so mad at him.
It sounds very unfair. So is you say that you're mad at him for, the situation. Is this anger? Is it anger that is contributing and fueling to returning to drinking?
Hmm. I don't know. Like it might be anger, but like since I started again, I just get this uncontrollable urge to drink, and so maybe anger is what fuels it, but I just no, I just can't. I just get this craving, and I can't turn it off. I just feel like I have to have some alcohol.
Mm. So the craving is what inevitably usually returns you back to drinking.
Yeah, it's just this uncontrollable craving.
And could you tell me what craving looks like when it comes around?
Well, I just get this thought in my head that I have to have some alcohol, and it's like a physical thing. I just feel like I have to have some alcohol. It's just a completely uncontrollable craving where I just have to have it.
And Can you tell me a little bit about when the craving is, you feel it the most? Do you feel it at work? Do you feel it when you're home?
Well, I'm busy at work, so it's usually when I get home and I'm alone and maybe a little lonely, and I just want to be numb, I guess.
So the craving is most active um, around you when you're having or experiencing loneliness?
Well, when I get home after a hard day and I'm alone, and yeah, uh, just I had a hard day and I just start thinking about things, and this uncontrollable craving just just attacks me.
And what do you believe your life would look like, especially outside of work, if um, the craving didn't come around?
Um, oh, I think I would just feel better. Like, I feel terrible when I get up in the morning after drinking, and I think just I was happy when I wasn't drinking, and physically I felt better, and mentally I felt better, and I just uh, like I would go home and do something creative or fun instead of just drinking.
And were you experiencing the craving coming around during those 5 years that you were sober?
Just occasionally, but not very often. And if I did, I would go to a meeting.
Did you find the meetings helpful with the craving?
Yeah, yep. Getting the support from other people, and just knowing that there were other people that are dealing with what I was going with was helpful.
And could you tell me a little bit now? It sounds, wow, you've been through a lot these last few months, both with your ex-husband as well as, this new piece of health information. Um, could you tell me what's going on with your meetings now that you're have returned to drinking?
Well, I just haven't gone. It probably would be helpful. I just don't seem to be able to make myself go to a meeting.
So you think it would be helpful, but
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of ashamed to go, because I did so well for so long, and now I'm drinking again. So
so on the one hand you have some shame, but on the other side of things you want to stop. And craving, when the craving comes around, it sounds like you're lonely, you're by yourself, and that inevitably leads to drinking. um, what else do you think besides meetings might help you during this alone time when the craving comes around?
hmm, I don't know. Um, I used to like draw and paint before I started drinking again, and that was a way to be creative and do something productive when I got home in the evening.
Mm. So it sounds like that drawing and being creative and meetings all help with the craving.
Hmm. Yeah.
Could could you tell me what are some of the things associated with craving? Are you feeling other things other than loneliness?
Um, well, there's the shame because I started drinking again, and there's the anger at my ex-husband for what he did to me. So yeah, those are some other things I feel.
So shame and anger are all associated with the craving. And
Mhm.
then the end result of the craving is you engage it and it leads to drinking.
Yes.
Okay. And what are you hoping would be achieved with our sessions as we work on the drinking and the craving?
I just wanna stop drinking again, and I wanna get my life back to where it was before I started drinking again. Um, and not be so angry and shameful and upset all the time.
Mm. Well, again, thank you for meeting with me. And just with this small talk that we've had, you and I, you were able to identify that the craving that comes to visit you when you're alone is usually associated with fear and with anger and loneliness. And it usually leads you back to drinking. And drinking, of course, also produces shame. But you've also mentioned some really good solutions based on your experiences in dealing with drinking alcohol, which is meetings have been very effective for you, as well as arts and painting, and so you've given some really good solutions for this current problem. Would you mind in the next couple of weeks if we sat down and put this on paper and come up with a plan of things that you could do, that you'd be willing to do, and hopefully this will give you some good strategies to deal with the craving should you begin to experience it moving forward.
Yeah, I think I could maybe catch a meeting every night after work.
Hmm. And that is really great news. And so would you be able to do a meeting tonight and maybe a couple of meetings before we meet again next week?
Yeah, I'll go to a meeting tonight.
And how would you feel about writing a couple of thoughts down during the week until our next meeting so that we can kind of gauge what you're going through, as well as times when the craving comes around, when times that the craving comes around, and you trying some of these ideas out and seeing if that is helping you at all.
So like when I'm when the craving comes and visits me, you want me to write down what I'm thinking then?
Yeah, what's going on, how are you feeling, and then if you decide to go to a meeting or do some arts and crafts, writing that down and giving it a few minutes and just comparing the two and seeing, contrasting how it felt initially and what these if these solutions are effective.
Yeah, I can do that.
Great. Well, thank you for meeting with me, and I look forward to meeting with you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.